Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Sir Jonas. Welcome to my uh, presentation and talking about the biography about the Mr. President Abraham Lincoln's. Now, who is Abraham Lincoln? Now, before we start this presentation, let us see this slide for our greatness history, the hero of the United States or USA. Let's start. Okay, who is Abraham Lincoln? Abraham Lincoln, born in 1809 and assassinated in 1865. Wow. Was the 16th president of the United States. He is the best known for leading the country through the Civil War, abolished slavery, and preserving integrity and dedication to democratic ideals for humble beginnings. Lincoln rose to become one of the most revered figure in American history. Sweet. Next slide. All right, let's start with his first childhoods. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, like the first slide I told you, in a one-room log cabin in the Habin country. Well, it's basically a house, but it's just like only a single room, a one log cabin, something like that. I don't know what this looks like his old house, but it's probably small for the old times of his first birth or his first childhoods. Hardin country, Kentucky. His father, Thomas Lincoln, was a struggling farmer. His mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, died when he was just 9 years old. Lincoln's early life was marked by poverty and frontier hardships. In 1816, his family moved to Indiana, where he helped clear land and farm. He had less than a year for formal schooling, but was intensely self-educated. He developed a deep love of reading, borrowing books whenever possible, and education himself through the Bibles, classical literature, and law texts. Young adulthood and political awakening from 1813 to 1846. In 1830, the Lincolns, the Lincolns moved to Illinois, Illinois, I think, maybe, sorry, where Abraham began working as rail splitters, flatboatman, storekeeper, and surveyor. Well, maybe his time is probably have a different multiple jobs. Well, that's the old times. He earned a reputation for honesty and hard work. In 1832, he ran for I- Illinois, sorry, my bad, Illinois state's legislatures, but lost. However, he gained respect through his service in the Black Hawk War. He later on won a legislative seat in 1834 and served for consecutive terms. During this time, he studied law indep- indep- independently and, sorry, my bad, and become a licensed authority in 1836. He moved to Springfield and became a successful lawyer. In 1842, Lincoln married Todd, a well-educated woman from a prominent Kentucky family. They had four sons, although only Robert Todd Lincoln survived into adulthood. That is pretty rough, but he's tried his best, tried to build his career into become a successful lawyer. Truly amazing as a his adulthood political awakenings. That is time. That is adulthood times. Next, Congress disillusionments. Oh, sorry, my bad. The picture is pretty cover up this. Let me move that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's continue again, shall we? Congress and disillusionments, disillusionments, or sorry, my bad about that. I didn't get used to it. And in 1847 to 1854, Lincoln appeared on terms in the U.S. House of Representatives from, from 1847 to 1849 as a Whig, as a Whig, yes, that's what the word say, Whig, I think. He opposed the Mexican-American War, Mexican-American War, arguing it was unjust and provoked. His anti-war stance was unpopular, and he did not seek re-elections. Disenchanted with national politics, Lincoln returned to his law practice in Springfield. For the next few years, he built a reputation as a skilled and honest lawyer. However, national debates over slavery continued to draw his attention, especially as the issue threatened threatened the balance between North and South. Yes. So in the old time, where there was a conflict between the North and South, where where the President Abraham's trying to, remove the slavery, but it seems there are some people who disagree with the erase of the slavery. So yeah, there's a conflict between the North and South, and that's the maybe from part of what I know. Yeah. Next, slavery. The slavery. Hmm. The Nebraska, Nebraska Act and national recognitions from 1854 to 1860. The Kansas-Nebraska Act of 1854, which allowed new territories to decided for themselves whether to allow slavery recognition reignite Lincoln's political involvement. He viewed slavery as a moral and political evil. Yes, slavery is a bit bad in the back old time. So in the modern days, you consider lucky. In the modern days, is no more slavery. But yeah, he helped he helped found the Republicans parties in Illinois. Illinois. Yes, my bad. Sorry. In 1858, Lincoln's challenged Senator Stephens Douglas, Senator Stephen Douglas. Their debates, their debates, particularly on the morality and future of slavery, gained Lincoln's national fame despite losing the Senate race. His arguments show a commitment to the principles of the Declaration of Independence and posi- positioned him as an unifying figure for anti-slavery Northerners. President and Secession Crisis 1860 to 1861. Lincoln was elected the 16th president in November 1860. His election without support from southern states led to the secession's sections of South California and six other states. When Lincoln took office on March 4, 1861, he sought to preserve the Union at all costs. He rejected the legitimacy of secessions and vowed to maintain federal authorities. Following the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter in April 1861, the Civil War began. Yes, there's a war. Lincoln mobilized the Union armies, navigating a national crisis of unprecedented scales, leading through war and emancipations. I'm sorry, that's what to say. Emancipations, or oh yeah, emancipation, emancipations. In 1861 to 1867, Lincoln faced immense challenges during the Civil War, including divided public opinions, military setbacks, and constitutional dilemmas. All times pretty hard for him. He demonstrated strong leadership, frequently consulting with generals and cabinet members. In 1862, he issued the preliminary emancipa- emancipations proclamations and yeah, sorry, my bad. On January 1, 1863, the final proclamation declared slaves in Confederate States to be free, fundamentally changing the war purpose and adding a moral imperative. Lincoln skillfully combined military strategy with deep moral convictions, redefining the Union's goals around human liberty. Gettysburg's Address and Re-elections, 18, 1863 to 1864. Right after the bloody battles of the Gettysburg, Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address on November 19, 1863. In just 272 words, he invoked the principle of equality, sacrifice, and democracy. The speech became one of the most enduring statements of American ideals in 1864, facing political fatigue and criticisms. Lincoln ran for re-election since, thanks to Union's victories and support from soldiers, he defeated the Democrat George B. Yes, that's his name. His second inaugural address called for healing with malice towards none, with charity for all. Next, victory, assassination, and legacy. 1865. With General Robert E. or E. Lee, surrendered at Appomattox. Yes, that's what the words say. Appomattox Courthouse on April 9, 1865. The Civil War officially ended, or the war is over. Lincoln began promoting Reconstruction police based on reconciliations, reconciliations, yes. However, on April 14, 1865, just the day after the war ends, Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth while attending a play at Ford Theaters. Well, let me give you a simulation about where his location death. So he was at the top of the stage, on the right, on the left side buildings. He was sit with his wife, yes, with, with his wife. He's he's watching all the show, and then the person named John Wilkes Booth shot President Lincoln's right at the back, and shot and bang, and President Lincoln assassinated or death. Death. Yeah, it's a sad fate for the great heroes who tried his best to make American better and free from slaveries, and now he's died the next morning. Lincoln became the first American president to be assassinated. His death was mourned nationwide. His leadership preserved the Unions, ended slavery, and redefined the nation's ideals. He remains a global symbol of democracy, equality, and moral leaderships. He was a great, and sadly, his fate was with his DM. And this is the reference from all I gathered the information for my PPT. And thank you for listening and watching this history of President of the United States of the six or six the 16 of the President of the United States. I apologies about my speaking not well, or some part I don't really get used to it. I hope you can forgive that, and I hope this history can be a good lesson. Or yeah, that's all I got. And thank you USA, and also don't forget drink water with me. Yes, that's right. Drink water with me. Thank you so much, and see you later. Bye bye.